Good morning, good morning. I can't believe it's still morning, you guys. If y'all know what I've been up to, your girl has just been running like little Tasmania, little she-mania. Listen, it's still morning here, so good morning to my brothers and sisters, kings and queens, sons and daughters of Zion. I want to say this in response to what my sister said. I forgot your name, but you know what came to my spirit when I read what you said about how your neighbor, she slowly rides past you. You just hurry up and get your stuff and get in the house. We are peculiar people. And when you are beginning to master the art, I think it's an art. This is my little 2 cents. When we begin to master the art of overcoming the bondage of other people's opinions, we don't need other people's company to go out and enjoy ourselves, and we just stay to ourselves. We have a level of self-sufficiency and independence about ourselves. That's very peculiar behavior. And even when you realize that some of the people that envy you, like you said, she may envy you the things that they do, but they still admire you. And sometimes the behaviors, it could be psychological warfare, where some people want to frustrate you and cause you to act out because they know it's very annoying when you have someone constantly slowly riding past you, deliberately looking at you, and they know that you see them watching you. It's very annoying. But sometimes people want to frustrate you. And so what I would do is just take that with a grain of salt and understand just how blessed and peculiar you really are for somebody to go out of their way to watch you like that and try to make you feel uncomfortable. The more you learn to ignore it, and I can speak from personal experience, when you learn to ignore people like that, even when it gets under your skin sometimes, what that's doing is that's working patience. That's birthing patience on the inside of us, self-control, and we're learning how to think through, problem solving, think through spiritual warfare, try to study and understand what is this driving force behind the behaviors of this individual. And sometimes you will begin to see some of those people, either they're just, something will happen to where they're just cut off, they leave you alone, or sometimes some of those people, they will have a change of heart by you ignoring all of that evil. Because what it does is, when they're dealing with you the wrong way and trying to make you feel uncomfortable, and they envy you, and you continue to just keep going, move around them gracefully, ignore them no matter how hard it is, you handling things the right way exposes the wrong on the inside of them. There are some people who think that they have the power to control other people's lives. There are some people, you can buy a house in a neighborhood where nobody knows you. You can buy a house in a neighborhood where you know no one, and there can be some people who've been living in that neighborhood before you. They're older than you. They can have a house in a neighborhood. They feel like, they're used to a certain kind of people in that neighborhood. And so when you buy your house, they can start coming onto your property, infringing on your rights. Some of those people can start coming into your, like, trying to act as if they're befriending you. But they can actually, if you listen to the things that they say when they come, they can come introduce themselves to you. They can seem friendly, but you want to know the whole purpose. You want to learn their spirit. And you'll see where sometimes they'll think that they have the right to tell you how you should live or become acclimated in the environment, or what you should do with your yard or your time, or how you should move things around. You will have some people like that. And I think that's deeply rooted on the inside of some people's soul. We don't have control over how people come at us, how people treat us. We only have control over how we respond. And so I think that you're just such a peculiar individual that she would have to go out of her way to slowly watch you like that. And I'm smiling now, but I know how it feels because I've been in that situation before. Not one time, but several times. And even every now and then, sometimes it still happens. God has humbled some of the people that used to do those things to me. They want to build a friendship with you, but they also want to try to control you. And then sometimes people could be marvel. It could be, you may be a younger lady. I don't know you. I don't know your age. I don't know where you live. I don't know anything about you. But you could be a younger individual who is single, and you could be someone who is doing well for yourself, and you're doing everything on your own. And it could be some people that envy you because of that. You know, it could be people who are married and they envy you. And I know it may sound crazy, but you got to think to yourself, why would somebody who is married be focused on somebody who's single so much? Or it could be vice versa. You could be married and somebody could be single and they could be envying your marriage, you know, and because they don't have anybody. So therefore they envy what you have going on, and they always want to monitor you and your spouse. They're always, you know, making you guys feel uncomfortable. You know, it could be anything. But when you realize that type of behavior and you don't understand it, the wise thing to do is not to lash out and let your anger and your frustration be known, because there are some who are evil and bold in their wicked ways to deliberately try to push her. But oh, she doesn't like when I slowly ride past her way. I'm going to do it intentionally. I know there was an elderly couple who I don't know, who has seemed like they were obsessed with me. They would intentionally come down their street, round my corner, and they don't even have to do that. They intentionally would watch me and slow down constantly. The wife, especially the wife, you know. And then there have been people that have come back to me. This lady has had conversations about me to people in the neighborhood that I don't even know, and I don't even know her. I've never even had a dealing with her. This lady has even come in my yard before, and one of my neighbors had caught me, and she was talking to them like she spoke with me and blah blah blah. She lied. We never even spoke. And so if you would tell somebody this, if you would go and report somebody like this, make a police report or something, and then when you report their age, and it's like, why would a 70-year-old be doing such things? You know, it wouldn't sound right. It wouldn't sound right. Sometimes these people get off on using the police as a weapon to, how can I say it? Using the police as a weapon to harass people that they don't like or that they envy. And sometimes people feel like they're older in their age, they can do that, you know, and it has been done until somebody righteous puts a stop to it and say, no, you know, you can't do this. It's actually against the law, you know, and that's misuse of 911. That's misuse of police services, you know. So there's a lot that I have experienced, but I can tell you, as long as you keep your peace, you know, be slow to wrath. Don't be quick to anger. Be slow to wrath. And as long as you keep your peace and just pay attention to the situation, I can promise you, it's all going to fizzle out, and you'll see just how peculiar you really are. You know, you might not think too highly of yourself. You know, when you're a humble person, we don't walk around thinking highly of ourselves. We don't walk around trying to big ourselves up better than other people, because we know that God has no respect of persons, and we're all human beings, you know. And so when you walk around humble like that, sometimes people even take your kindness for weakness, because it's like, you know, they get close to you and then they start trying to play with you, or they start trying to disrespect you because you have such a genuine down-to-earth spirit, you know. Or sometimes people will try to, you know, build a friendship with you, and then when they get around a group of people, they'll try to show other people how they can talk down to you, or as if they got some level of control over you, because you have such a strong presence. Sometimes you don't even realize how admirable you really are until somebody who is healthy, not envious, and they come into your life and they start giving you feedback. Because when you're a strong person, when you're self-sufficient, when you mind your business, a lot of times you don't have other people like that around you. And so when you meet people and they start to compliment you, and they can discern and see certain qualities about you, they'll start telling you these things and helping you understand why that some people even oppose you in certain ways, you know, why some people oppose you. So you're very peculiar, you know, you're very peculiar. So you probably live a very interesting and admirable life, you know. And so you will see people do weird things, but don't let it frustrate you. Don't let it make you paranoid at all. It's the spirit. It's the spirit that you walk in. And oftentimes the spirit, the energy on our spirit, it can be felt. You know, it can be felt with our presence. Just us being in certain atmospheres. You know. I remember one time I had a guy and I got very upset. This guy used to ride past my house constantly. And he was actually working on the house around the corner, but I didn't know. But he would constantly ride, and then when he would see me in the yard, I would always be doing something. I would get so angry. I never said anything to him. He was riding around in this truck. The windows were dark, and I couldn't even see the face, you know. But he was constantly riding. Probably, I remember one day I was out working in my front yard, and this guy rolled past my house at least 8-10 times. And I was getting so frustrated. And I remember my neighbor's husband, he was over talking. He stopped over, because sometimes he would stop over and sit with me while I'm outside working and stuff like that, and we'll talk. And I was like, that guy's just so freaking annoying. And then by the end of the day, this guy stopped and put his window down. He introduced himself, and he said where he was in the neighborhood, like what he was doing and all of that. And he said, you are one of the hardest working women that I have ever seen. He said, I have never seen a woman do some of the things that I see you doing. And he said, I just wanted to introduce myself so I wouldn't creep you out, because I know I constantly pass by. He said, but I just admire your work ethic. And you know, he said, it's just mesmerizing. And he told me his name and all that. And I was like, oh, okay, nice to meet you too, you know. But prior to that, I was getting so annoyed, because I'm like, why does he keep riding past this house? What's going on here? Oh, a bad accident. Oh, Lord. Ooh, a head-on collision. Oh, my goodness. But prior to that, I was like, why does he keep riding around, you know? So, and you know, conversations need to be had. A lot of times, people don't have conversations, but if you have conversations with people that are watching you, like riding around, don't start out being so friendly and just let your guard all the way down and just give all information. Feel people out, see where they're coming from, you know. But without communication as well, there can be a lot of misunderstandings. You know, you can't even build a genuine friendship with somebody without proper communication, you know. But anyway, that's just my little 2 cents. I'm taking the rest of the day off. It's actually morning. It's 11:30, but I started my work really early this morning, and I got done super early. So I'm just gonna get me some tender loving care. I'm gonna get me a massage. My main therapist is booked for today, so I'm gonna try out another therapist. There's a female therapist at the private massage place, but I don't really like female therapists because, of course, we know our stuff. Women, we know our stuff, but the hands are not as strong as men. You know, the strength sometimes is not as strong as a male strength, and I love deep pressure because sometimes I have some tight muscles that I really want to get worked out, and so I really like deep pressure. There's no pain, feels good. The pain is healing. That's how I like to say it. It's pain. Sometimes I feel pain, but it's a good pain when you're working a lot of those knots out. Because sometimes I get a lot of knots in my muscles, and I need them to be really, really worked out. And I get on my water and start flushing all of them toxins out. Yep. But anyway, y'all have a blessed day, sister. Be encouraged. You're very peculiar. That's all. You're admirable. Don't get upset. Don't be quick to anger. Just know that that's what people do sometimes. You have a very interesting life. So keep your guards up, feel people out. Don't give too much information about yourself. God bless you, and I love you.